had an opportunity yesterday, and I say opportunity, to be reminded about the importance of kindness and empathy. Now, I've learned that being an empathetic person, that not everybody has this talent within them. And that's okay, because each of us has our own unique talents and gifts that maybe other people don't have. And I think that's what keeps the world balanced. And being able to be empathetic or have empathy means I truly can relate to the experience another person is having without them having to even tell me about it. Or maybe they are telling me about it, and it gives me even more perspective to relate, to feel deeply, to see, to think, to really get into the mind, the body, and the being of another soul and experience the world through their own experience. And it's a very unique gift to have. For many years, I didn't fully understand that that's what empathy is, and I would confuse other people's emotions for my own. And so for a while, to protect myself, I would put a shield up. And in a lot of ways, it made me more introverted and shy, which can come across as maybe not being so friendly. So I understand that not everybody can be empathetic, but one thing that we can all do, that we all understand, is kindness. And maybe I might be a little bit more expressive in my ability to want to relate to people because of having an empathetic nature. But kindness is something that we can all offer, share, and receive very quickly, very easily. And in fact, the more that you practice kindness, the more contagious it can become. The other day, I was having some difficulties in having to work with a customer service agent with some financial stuff. And I feel like this is where the human condition is always measured, is in these moments where you're working with somebody through a phone, you're working through somebody through some type of a blockage, like when we're driving in traffic, and you can tell when people are getting along or not getting along, when they're being nice or not being nice. And I think a phone conversation is a similar situation. And it's very easy for us to act out of our highest and best selves when we have that barrier. And I always ask myself, if I didn't have this barrier in front of me, is this how I would behave in front of this other person? And when you work in customer service and when you work in a space of giving service to others, as I have for so long, you really start to gain a sense of empathy. Even if you don't know how to do it, you start to become more aware of how people are and how they think and how they feel, and how you can be a part of helping them just be a little bit kinder too by being kind yourself. And so I had a not so kind conversation with a gentleman that really did a good job of making me feel about this big. And instead of maybe trying to relate a little bit or offer a little bit of understanding or kindness to help both of us get through to the other side of the situation, it was an opportunity for him to belittle, to undermine, and to gain power in the situation by trying to make me feel as small as possible. And I allowed that to happen, and he succeeded. And then I reach out to support and reevaluated myself for a moment, and then called back, and I got a different person, and this person let me share my story for a moment. And she said, I'm going to take my professional hat off here for a moment. I can feel, I can hear. I may not understand what you're going through in terms of like my own life experiences, but I can certainly feel that you are stressed, that you are upset, and I just want you to know it's going to be okay. Maybe I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear in terms of like the financial solution situation, but it's going to be okay. And we went on and on for a moment, but as she was talking to me and as she expressed kindness, I could tell she was not empathetic, but she was kind. This barrier, that shield that I have to put up to protect myself, immediately dissolved. And that's all I needed, was just a little bit of kindness, and it was amplified 1,000 times. I felt light on life. I felt like I was floating. I felt understood, seen, and heard, and that is so important and powerful for us in the human spirit to do that for each other. And so, yes, the situation is not ideal, but man, a little kindness, and suddenly it's like you can realize that it's not the end of the world, and everything is going to be okay. And this is just a small moment, and in the grand scheme of things, probably not the most important thing, and definitely not worth crushing you. So Gosh, kindness, you guys, such a powerful, beautiful gift that we get to all give and receive in the human spirit. So if you're feeling in any way motivated by what I'm sharing, I just want to encourage you to go out and share some kindness. I am going to definitely pay it forward today. And just by sharing my experience and my message today, I hope that's a start. So be kind. And even if you're not one of the souls out there that knows how to be empathetic, we know and understand within our own selves the power and the value of being seen and heard and felt and understood. And it doesn't mean that we have to always agree, but just holding space for each other is kindness.